Greetings and a warm welcome to our friends and supporters. I am Dr. Johnson Audicle, and we as Team JOI are delighted to welcome each one of you. We are overwhelmed by the 500 plus registrations at this Maximize Your Message webinar that is brought to you by JOI. What we would like to say, speak, for your voice matters. As the registered participants, you will continue to have access to the video of this session on the event page for some time. Do share your observations or questions in the comment section of the YouTube stream. It has been a special time for us at JOI. Founded in November 2021, Johnson Nautical Initiatives enables you to know, grow, and live to your full potential. We believe in what Dr. John Maxwell says: leadership is influence, and therefore our strategy is to be people of value who value people and add value to people. So let us watch what the last 11 months have been like. That has been an amazing opportunity and a great year. We want to say this, that Team JOI works with the culture of picture it, possess it, partner for it, and progress it. Our current fields of influence are in the maritime domain with heritage for legacy, leadership, and career guidance coaching. A recent endeavor for us at JOI was a content and research legal history internship, which culminated in paper presentations at the third All India Legal History Congress at National Law Institute University, Bhopal. Listen to the participants of the learning journey.
Even in a learning journey as for now, we feel ready already for a professional journey. The famous author of The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, has quoted, "People hardly learn anything by being told. They have to find out for themselves." Hi, my name is Dave. I'm a second year student at GNLU. Interning under Professor Dr. Johnson Oracle has truly given me very useful insights into the mechanics of research, which not only prepares me for future projects but also aligns me towards the professional world. My internship experience under Johnson Sir has had a deep impact on me, along with honing my skills at a multifaceted level. Every assignment given to us has been linked to problem solving. It has been a pure pursuit of knowledge, apart from dwelling deeper into the theoretical aspects and history of law. I had an opportunity to work on a research paper based on maritime law and got to present my paper at the Legal History Congress held at NLIU Bhopal, along with Johnson Sir. The one lesson I learned from the conference is that we students often complete assignments at ease and resort to last minute preparations. However, working under Professor was a life lesson. It taught me to always prepare in advance, for it gives you a feeling of accomplishment. Sir has always ensured that there was never a dull moment working with him. There was room for learning, and never once have I felt afraid to approach him for any doubts. He's a teacher in love with the subject, and it sure has been contagious. On a professional front, Sir honed our skills into the subject, thereby readying us to commence the professional journey. On a personal level, it has made me a better thinker and a problem solver. I thank Sir for expanding my knowledge base and widening my perspective in the field of law. It was truly a pleasure working with JOI and Johnson, Sir. Thank you for being a part of my student life at GNLU.
I would firstly like to mention that it was not the legal history conference which diverted value to my understanding of the subject, but rather all the assignments as given by Johnson sir, which just enhanced my exposure to knowledge. I had the chance to write on a research paper about maritime law, and I also had the chance to deliver my paper with Johnson sir at the Legal History Conference held at NLIU Bhopal. While the last minute changes and preparations are stressful, and with the apprehensive sort of foreboding just looming over us regarding the paper presentation, Johnson sir managed to assuage all that anxiety and helped us deliver the paper with our best possible contentions. Sir is one of the most vibrant person I know. There is never a dull moment around him. If we weren't there in the conference brushing up on our paper itself, we would be discussing the most mundane of topics which may relate to our daily lives. And then we would somehow move on to discussing all these experience in his professional field, which still seem a bit too extraordinary for me. Working with Sir has definitely made me refocus on my professional compartmentalization on research work, research thinking, and mainly how to put all those thoughts into words and express them. And the experiences I gained throughout the course of this internship are the perfect testimonial for this. I would sincerely like to thank Sir, the entire JOI team, and my friends for making this internship opportunity as as it was.
In addition to the paper presentations that were alluded to by Dave and Janvi, there was visible transformation in an approach to research and progressing the fine balance between learning, finishing assignments, and enjoying the experience. The story continues as you hear two more voices.
The internship experience I gained under Johnson Sir was no doubt the best learning experience in a research internship. I know that this internship and the guidance provided by Sir will be beneficial to my research skills in the future. Sir is a disciplined man, yet one who doesn't live by restrictions. The positivity that he radiates inspired me to keep working diligently. The discipline that he lives by has helped me manage time between the assignments in law school and the work in this internship. During the course of my internship, I had the opportunity to hone my research and management skills, but also my writing skills. Assisting Sir in the speech he delivered at the conference was a major learning part of my internship. Benjamin Franklin's quote, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn," really sums up my internship experience with Johnson Sir.
Considering myself lucky to have gotten this wonderful opportunity of interning under the guidance of Honorable Professor Dr. Johnson Oracle, the internship's goal was to incubate the skill of research among the interns, as we did not only learn but also practically applied the researching techniques and process that we knew. We also got the much awaited chance to develop and use some new skills on researching. The time at JOI helped me experience the nuances of research in general and the subject of my interest, that is, comparative world history in particular. As a law student, it is prerequisite to know the history that is the base of the present and the future. The research work at JOI taught me the importance of history in the field of law. I commenced this journey with studying the doctrinal concept of research in legal history and concluded by applying the same concepts while writing an essay on American constitutional history. The scope of internship was so wide to an extent that it taught me not merely how to research, but also the professional conduct, behavior, and skills as an intern. As the internship concluded, I can proudly acclaim that the exposure and experience now plays a key role in my researching, while it furnishes the confidence to present myself in the professional world. I would therefore take a moment and thank JOI and Johnson Sir for providing the most cordial platform to learn about research and legal history through experience. Working with you, sir, was a true pleasure. I thank you for your involvement in my GNLU student life, helping me become a better professional under your training and guidance. Thank you.
That's been awesome. Regardless of the issues of connectivity, I want to take this moment and compliment and extend my gratitude to the entire legal history team, the project team, beginning with Neeta Nair, who was the research associated who assisted and coordinated with me from the time of learnings at the GNLU and also culminating with the All India Legal History Congress. In fact, Team JOI is proud of you all. Your voice did make an impact. At this stage, I just want to just say a word because of certain challenges that have been expressed and have come as a mail. If those who have registered are not able to get through, please check the email that you have received on registration, and there is a link below. And those who are able to spot, we can see you on the stream. Please try and help each other because it's a little different from Zoom. This is on StreamYard, and that enables you to connect. On the event page, just click the video link, which has Maximize Your Message, and you'll be able to watch. So thank you for your patience. The focus of our time together is aptly titled Maximize Your Message. And we want to say this: speak, for your voice matters. So let me begin this journey by a very interesting example. And I'm going to say a word, and that will come up on the screen too. And that word is dog. Now, as soon as you hear the word dog, what is the impression that comes to you? Is this the image that you see? Something very ferocious, very traumatic, something to be afraid of, and that creates a problem? Or is it this image? Oh, such a cute little creature, and you feel almost though it's living, but it could be a toy. So let's put both the images together. What is it that decides that when we hear the sound of a word, what is the set of responses that will indicate what is the voice that we really hear? And for that purpose, we have three questions that enable impressions. The first question is, what do I hear? So allow me to just take a moment and, when we speak, and in this, when I'm talking hearing, I'm also including visual hearing, which means when we read. So depending on what is the sound that reaches through our ears or through our eyes in a manner into our brain, it can trigger memories, and some of them could be fearful memories. So the second question is, what do I fear? And that means something in the past associated with that word, like the fearful image of the dog, could be the one that completely registers into our minds. And so we take the effort, and it is important to ask the third question: how can I be clear? So that is what these three questions are, kind of a guideline of what we are going to do. And with that, I want to come to what is called the illusion of communication. The greatest problem in communication is the illusion that it has been accomplished. And that's what Jesse Giglio said. Many times we speak, and the moment the words are out of our mouth or the email is out, we can presume that the communication has been achieved. And that's an illusion. And therefore, Dr. John C. Maxwell, who is a patron emeritus of the Maxwell Leadership Foundation, he says, if you ask me what's the one thing you can do to be more successful, I would say learn to communicate. And Dr. John Maxwell has written this book, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. It's an amazing book. And today, it is my honor and privilege to share with you some insights that I have learned and gained in my journey through life, and also with the Maxwell Leadership team. And I am honored to bring with focus on three elements. And those three are my uniqueness, my skill or the skill talent debate, and how can I make communication the most memorable experience. So let's begin with what I would call, how are we, or this is the uniqueness journey. So I have three visuals in front of you. On the extreme right is the visual of a thumbprint. Now we know whether it is Aadhaar verification or a passport scanning or any of the biometrics, because our thumbprints are unique, each of us has a unique thumbprint. Let's move out from there and talk about a snowflake. Those of you who have seen one live or on a picture or know about a snowflake, if you expand to a single snowflake, no two snowflakes are alike. But I'm very happy to bring a third aspect, which is the visual on your left. And there was this amazing shepherd boy called David who grew up to be king of Israel. And he's written many songs in adoration of the Lord. And one of the songs called Psalms, in the 139th Psalm, he says, I praise you, for I'm wonderfully or fearfully and wonderfully made. How wonderful are your works. And that's an acknowledgement that each one of us, including twins, can be different. Uh, and so that's the uniqueness of our voice. So in this particular journey, I would like to bring 4 aspects to indicate how our voice is unique and how it can continue to be unique. So let's begin with the very first one, and that is my audience. Now, the picture of talking of an audience may lead us to think of a big auditorium, and within that, we are looking at people. But audience is actually the sphere of influence that we have. And just imagine you are sitting at the center of a circle, and around you could be friends, could be family, could be your co-workers, could be your fellow students. It could be anyone. If you are an influencer, it could be your followers. So in that sense, my audience is the ones who we reach. But what's the point? The point is, do I understand what my audience needs are? What is its wants, its desires? How do they feel about things? What are their beliefs? What are their goals? What are their pains? What makes them happy? How do they think about things different from others in our same circle? And so the question really is, how do we speak to their hearts and minds? That is what becomes an audience. And from there, we graduate to what I call my niche. Now, what is niche? And if you probably different pronunciations, some people call it niche. So let me say it in this manner. Go deep into one area where we can speak with authority. It is said, and we probably learned in our school time, it's better to be an expert in a small area rather than being a jack of all trades and master of none. And what am I encouraging? Whatever is our area of expertise, write about it, talk about it, speak about it, and do it as often as we can. The more we speak and write, the better we will become, and our expertise will develop. And from there, I would come to the third element, which is my message. Now, message is the core of our writing or speaking. It has to be communicated from the authenticity that comes within us. So what am I saying? Think about what you want to say. How will it help our readers? How will it help our audience? Because the life that we have lived can be an inspiration to people, because the journey that we have undergone and the problems that we have solved can become a direction and a guidance to others. And it is authentic because it is coming from the area of our expertise. It is my message. It is my niche. And the fourth aspect of this is my medium. Now, if you would have noticed, this is not an intentional opportunity to talk about. When you heard or you have heard many times, sometimes there is confusion in a communication. Sometimes there can be confusion through technology. And when we do not recognize that it's not enough for us to speak, but the medium between the speaker and the audience. How often have we seen technology and audio become a challenge, and that hinders communication? When we write, it can be a language. And so the medium is important. What I'm asking is, when we write, ask for feedback, take inputs. The more we put our content out, the more we expose ourselves, we will get better. We will address the challenges in the medium and in doing better effectiveness. And with that, I want to come to this idea of the skill versus talent debate. And the premise or hypothesis is very simple. Communication can be learned. It's as simple as that. Communication can be learned. I need to say this very clearly. The number one fear in the world, as per a study, is the fear of public speaking. In fact, the same study says the number two fear is the fear of death. Can we imagine that there is greater fear of public speaking than the fear of death? So it is possible we can say, oh, you can very easily say that, and one will say, this communication thing is not for me. I'm sorry, I don't know how to communicate. I don't think my voice matters. And I have a very, very interesting example or an illustration to kind of share this. And I will need you to move into imagination. So you may have seen a young child walking. And just for a moment, think you can go back to your childhood. And in childhood, imagine you are conscious. You have today's present cognitive understanding. And say I started walking somewhere around 7 or 8 months as per my mom. So you are 7 or 8 months old. You've barely started standing up, holding a table, and you can drag yourself. And you see other people walking, and you decide, looks like this is a good experiment. Let me try to walk. We take 3 steps and we fall. Based on the encouragement, we get up. We take another 2 steps and we fall. Maybe some of us are bold. We will try once again. Now imagine we go a few more steps and we again fall. Just imagine we were to say as a 8 months, I am not gifted in walking. All you people around me, all I see around me, you all are natural walkers. I am not a walker. I'm sorry, this walking thing is not for me. Can you just imagine how ridiculous that would be? And so that's what sometimes communication can become. And so I want to next move to this idea of what makes people listen. Are there skills, instead of now having established that communication is not all about gifts, but it's a skill that we can learn? So in very simple ways, there are 5 aspects I want to talk about that will enable people to listen to us. The first one is relationships. Who do I know? The encouragement in developing this skill is that we build our network. You must have heard of influencers in this era of social media. So there are people. It all is a matter of who I know and who they know. So the more I connect and network with people, the more people I share my thoughts with, the more places I write. At some stage, the network will start growing and it will make people will listen to my voice. The second is insight. What do I know? Now, this we are not talking of our education, our degree, our resume, our bio. We are talking about what has life taught me. What is it that is my interpretation of things? Now, that people may or may not agree, but it is my voice. It is what I am speaking. It's my insight. When it comes from the deep learnings that I bring, people will listen. And with that, we go to the third, which is success. What I have done. And here I take the example of sports person. Very often, and it's very interesting in motivational speaking and coaching, that successful sports people or successful sports coaches make very good inspirational speakers. What is the premise? If we have found success in one area of life, we will find success. We are likely to be credible, and people will believe that we have success in other areas of life. The fourth point I want to bring is the idea of ability. What can I do? And I want to share a very interesting illustration to indicate this. My speaking mentor, a gentleman called Roddy Galbraith, and he once shared this account. We must have heard of the famous sprinter Usain Bolt. And it is said Usain Bolt participated in 3 Olympics, won 8 gold medals. He ran for a total of 115 seconds. And as a result, he earned $119 million, which means for every second that he ran, he won $1 million. Now, we'll be very fascinating. I don't mind that. What an amazing way. But Roddy also shared the statistic that people don't realize, apart from those 3 statistics of 3 Olympics, 8 gold medals, 115 seconds, $119. It took 20 years of intense effort. We are aware, recently Roger Federer died as one of the greatest tennis players, and he would love to play at center court in Wimbledon. Imagine Roger says, I'm not interested in the practice court. Or someone like Sachin Tendulkar, whether it's Wankhede or Lords. And imagine he only looked at his life at Wankhede or Lords. That's not possible without the years of practice. So what the encouragement I want to give is, ability is not gift. Ability is what I train. And allow me to say this with great emphasis. Spectacular ability is often preceded by not so spectacular preparation. In fact, I will say it in another manner. Behind every spectacular achievement is years of not so spectacular preparation and hard work. And that's the idea of ability. We need to persist and improve. And the fifth point is voyage. How have I lived? And when I say how I have lived is, in the journey of my life, what are people who have made an influence in my life? What about my influence in their life? In the stories of our life, who has been the hero? Talk about it. And actually, more than us being the hero, if we talk about the heroes in our life, the voice is very authentic and people love to talk about it. And so that are some things that will make people listen. Let me very quickly go to, how to make this skill effective. How to make this skill effective. And whether we're speaking one-on-one or in a group, so choose to show interest in people. Now, when we talk to them, and I will share some practical things, we should not forget that speaking makes sense only if somebody is hearing. Writing makes sense only if somebody is reading. And why will they read or hear if it doesn't interest them? Secondly, place value on them. Take time to tell them, share with them what makes their life comfortable. Prioritize their interest. If you're going and speaking in a place, take some time to know them. And I often do this when I am given a speaking assignment. I often take some time and I call it a discovery meeting, and I talk to people and I say, can you tell me a little bit more about your team? Because then I can see whether what I am going to say, is it going to be of value to them? And never forget to express gratitude. That is very, very important. Never fail to do that. And with that, I'm going to come to my third and final part, which is making it an enjoyable experience. But let me pause and say, do you remember the teacher who left the best impression on you? Who was that teacher? Think about it for a minute. And inevitably, you will talk about someone who made learning fun, who took deep interest, who would make the class worth attending. And that's the key. So let's look at some principles by which learning can be fun. And the key is two things. Let my voice bring joy. There's enough trouble in the world. We don't have to be the cause of adding to it. Next, we will gain interest only if we are interested. That we have to check. How do we do? And I have a few very practical suggestions. And so let's look at them one by one. To capture interest in communication, the first thing is greetings and eye contact. As soon as you enter the room, greet your audience with a smile and make eye contact with everyone. Do you know that even in this digital era, you can make good eye contact? And I am practicing and I'm trying to get good. The device that we are using, are we aware which is the camera that is capturing us? Look into the camera. We don't have to stare into the camera, but with a cheerful disposition, and it requires practice. We need to be prepared. When we are actually with an audience, we need to look at the audience. If it's a stage, if it is from a stage and there's a large audience, look to the left, look to the right. In fact, lock to a face periodically, smiling and giving you feedback. It just makes the whole journey so enjoyable. The next is to build rapport. Now, what do I mean by building rapport? It is, am I connecting with the ones about which I've written my blog or of which I'm speaking? In one-on-one communication, this is a little easier to get because the body language will show whether we are making interest or not. And I have this thing to confirm to you. If you're making rapport, one of the things, if you start leaning to the right, you'll find the audience will follow you. Then if you look to the left, the audience will also look in the same direction. They are in rapport with you. And that can happen in many ways. It takes time. And the key to that is making interest. If we have not built rapport, we can be talking of the most sound things in the world, and it is not going to register at all. The third thing is clarity and understanding. Now, there is often a tendency, I must impress my audience. And in the process, I might use language that makes no sense to the one who's hearing or reading. So can we keep the language simple? Can we be clear? Can we take effort to see that we choose simple words, avoid jargon. If we are using abbreviations, expand them. If it's a technical subject, write down the bullet points so that when we speak, we don't mix it up. And I want to say this to you. When I was preparing for even this talk, my first version was horrible. And I said, what am I doing? And I went back to my structure till I was making sense to myself. And then I tested it with a couple of people and say, am I making sense? Am I simple? Will people be able to understand? And that's important. And the last element to capture interest is follow up afterward. What do I mean by that? Even if we have been invited to give a talk, let's not run away. I've had this very funny situation once, and I was giving some people practice. They came on camera, live, spoke. As soon as they went, even before the camera went off, they ran. I mean, we laughed about it, but that kind of says no. Stay connected, and especially in person, spend some time, and that gives great and amazing feedback. I've almost come towards the end, and I'm going to share something after I finish. And my final point is this sentence: be the voice you want to hear, be the message you choose to speak. What do I mean? We want our voice to be heard. Then let us be the voice that we would like to hear. The first test is ourselves. Second is, do we want to have a message that people would love to hear us? Then can we be the message that we choose to speak? And that's what I really want to leave with you. And thank you for this time, but I'm not done. This, by the way, I am about to move on to some instructions, but I want to say this. It's been a great joy and pleasure listening to you. Thank you for attending, and give me a few more minutes. So I want to talk a little bit about what we do at JOI. And we have two items for you. One is we have a 45-minute session, which we call a discovery session, which provides for coaching, and you can connect, and we will be able to help you address an issue, unearth answers that you have. Second is a little more expanded, which is how to chart a navigational plan. We use the Maxwell disk analysis. You will get a 30-page report along with a debrief. Both of these are available on the website. And before I sign off, let me mention what are the programs that are going to come up. We are going to have, we want to bring this program to you, which is Leading in the 21st Century. It will happen in the month of December. We call it Seek a Summit Experience. We will bring some global influencers who can help you learn things, and that will be, I'm sure your team and you will be interested. Get in touch with us. And of course, stay in touch with us. Our mantra and our method is life navigation. We empower you to envision and execute effectiveness. Stay connected with our website and our social media handles. It's been an amazing time listening to you. Once again, I want to say my apologies if some of you have not been able to reach out. For those who are registered, we'll remind you and send you the link to this page and probably even the recording. But it's been a great time being with you. Thank you. God bless. Have a wonderful day.